Good morning, YouTube. I'm already out in the garage and I've got something I need to do. Ooh, look, a little chipmunk. I bet you that little thing could be destructive. I don't know where he's harboring all his stuff at. He's hiding it somewhere.
What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream.
I gotta go out to the trap here. Stupid squirrel got in our trap. Stupid. I don't care about squirrels. Can't believe you set off the trap, but then again, that thing's got like a hair trigger. Heidi brought this fan home. She said, "Can you take a look at this? It quit. It's something that they use at work. I don't know, to keep themselves cool or something." And she don't want to charge another one to the company, and she knows I can fix this kind of crap normally, but the fact that it has this little module here, maybe not. I'm not sure yet. But I need to go get the trash can. And as far as today's video and what we're doing moving forward here, let me tell you, as far as chronographically, man, why am I having a hard time with saying words? And man, I don't know. Just like words have been escaping me. Which, I don't know, maybe it's a sign of some sort of early, hopefully really early onset of dementia, because, I mean, I hope that it's early. I hope that I'm not getting it at all, but there's some weird stuff that I just forget, and I'm usually not that way. So anyways, going back to what I was saying, as I almost forgot. Almost forgot again. As of time that you're watching this, to put it in respect of what's actually happening chronographically, I think that's what I wanted to say. No, chronologically. See what I'm saying? It's just like certain words just get jumbled for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, I even have a playlist that says chronological playlist, or what we're doing chronologically or something to that effect. And here I'm forgetting the word. As you're watching this, though, I had just released the secret video, the one that we finally let you know that we were moving. I just wanted to let you know that, hey, we're finally able to talk about moving. Again, there's going to be a video once we move. And we're out of this location and this house is sold. There'll be a whole video of all of our decision making and what went into that. And you're going to find it, some of you will find it eye-opening, I think, because for us it was different. It was just different than what we've ever experienced. So I will close today out. Because there's nothing really for me to do. Oh, I got a new floor jack. Since we are moving, and I need to do work on cars occasionally, and we're, going to be going to where there's a garage, and then some. We'll talk about that. I have to do some work on the Taurus wagon, and what that is there's when we got it, the Taurus wagon has the standard Ohio rust in one section. When you open up the driver's door, or more the driver's side, the back door on the driver's side, and you can see on the rocker that there's a section. It's about so big, it's got a couple rust holes in it. That's typical. That's typical initial rust in Ohio. Now the rest of the car, I couldn't find any rust. I mean, it's really solid everywhere. The frames, the subframes, everything, all except in one location, and that was the passenger floorboard. Well, that was kind of strange. I've never really seen floorboards rust out until it got really rusty. The car would have to be rusty everywhere, and then floor pans start to rust out. Well, in this case, I cleaned out, took all the rust out, whatever was left. I sealed it all off. I put, first I dried it out really well because it was wet. It was still wet. And I sealed it all off. I used a turnip bond for like a sound deadener and a sealer. And on the other side, I riveted in some sort of sheet metal, and then I coated it with undercoating a bunch of places, and it sealed off very well. It looks very good, if I may say so myself, which I will. It looks good, and it's very solid. It's nice. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I was thinking the whole time, I don't know how water got in. Maybe the window was down for a period of time. They forgot, or I don't know. The interior looks really good. So you would think the seat would be like stained or something weird or have water spots, but no, there was just water on the passenger floorboard. So again, did all that, dried it all out, fixed it, and then Heidi and I went somewhere the other day. When she picked me up whenever I turned in the lease. I hopped in the car and we rode back. We stopped somewhere though, and I had a bag that I set on the floor in between my legs. And then when I got out of the car, I'm like, why is this bag wet? I'm like, what is this? Why is the floor wet here? Okay. So at that point in time, I'm like, oh man, I've seen this big gap on the windshield, and I wonder if it's leaking there. And I'm thinking, well, I'm going to have to find some way to reseal it. So in the meantime, we drove it for a couple more days, or Heidi drove it for a couple more days. And I peeled back the carpet the other day, and it was all wet. So I put a towel down, and that's why this towel's hanging here, which this towel is now dry. I put a towel down, folded it up, put it down, and let it absorb whatever water was there. And we're rotating out towels basically. When this towel came out, I put another one in. But I told Heidi, I said, hey, you're at home. Let me pop the hood. Let's take off this cowling. Let me see if I can get this windshield to leak. And in the meantime, we ordered a cabin filter. We'd never replaced that, and I had access to it at that point. And I ran water all over the place. I couldn't get water to come in. Come to find out after doing some research, or actually Heidi did all the research. I think we're pretty darn sure and confident that it is the air conditioning condenser, because a lot of people have that problem, to where the air conditioning condenser has an outlet tube that is supposed to allow the water or the moisture to build up in this confined area that they have it all sealed off in, and it's supposed to run out. You've seen it. You've run air conditioning, or you've been behind a car that's had their air conditioning running, and if it's a really good air conditioner, it extracts a lot of moisture from inside the car, and that's how you condition the air. You dry it out, which causes cooling also. The whole evaporating process. So the whole idea is you may be behind a car, or you might be in a car and sitting in the driveway, and you just see water running out of it. Well, the thing is that station wagon has a very good air conditioner in it, and all that water was running inside. And even though it has some sort of a discharge outlet, the water apparently is running out, and instead of falling straight down, it kind of bends and follows along. And somebody online had described it, which I think is an okay description, of like when you're pouring something out of a cup or a mug, and instead of the water just pouring out directly, if you pour it slow enough, it'll come out the edge, and then it'll run back the side of the cup a ways and then fall. Well, that's what's happening, and all that's coming in. Now, there's a fix for it. Unfortunately, I've got to jack up the car. I've got to take off the front right tire. I've got to take out the inner fender well. I then have to get a whole bunch of silicone, which we have, and then I have to put gloves on, and I have to get up in there, and blindly, they say, you can't even see it, you've got to kind of put your hand up in there, and you've got to fill this area up and seal it off with silicone. So I got to do that, and hence the floor jack, which Heidi's Work sells these, and initially we were going to go to Harbor Freight and just get one, but I saw the reviews on this, and they have all kinds of sales that are going on at their work, and right now they have like 40% off sale. And I thought, well, shoot, I'm gonna pick up that. It's 40% off. I mean, that's a really good price, and this is a very nice jack from what I can tell. It's got dual pistons. It's got that pad so you don't scratch your car whenever the handle comes back up. And it's low profile. It's 3.8 on the lowest setting. And that thing, when you jack it up, it goes to over 21 inches. So that'll work out if we ever get me a truck in the future, which I got to get a truck again, obviously, especially if we're going to RV. But let me go take care of this squirrel and let him out of the cage, and probably just put the cage away again. I'm fed up with all this stuff. So we're in the abyss today with Heidi. Heidi's got a couple days off. You can't see her, she's in the dark. And that's what we're trying to correct in here to some extent, because the lighting in here really sucks in this corner. And the thing is the lights that are down here, we're taking with us to the new house, the LEDs, and then we'll just put in regular bulbs where all these smart bulbs are currently. What we're doing today is trying to put some covers on some of these outlets and replace, and there's, how many did I count? 17? I think total that are like this here. You know, they're just open. It's all open. Well, I can't take a chance of, oh my God, that whole box is hot. So is that one, look how far away I am. So we got to shut off the power down here. The thing is this circuitry in this house, even though we have really good electricity, we've never had a problem with electricity at all on any level. It's 100 amp service, but we wrote down a couple of things at one point. I think this is the breaker we're going to flip, which would be this one here. And it says, which this cannot be, this is not accurate. There's no way that our garage and the dryer and part of the basement is on a 10 amp fuse. It just, a breaker, I don't know. So we'll see. We'll turn this off, and the light, oh, I guess we can't see it. Let's try it. So is the dryer?
Is that my writing?
It's your writing.
Yeah. Sure.
So the garage is off? All this goes through this one 10 amp breaker? I still find that hard to believe. And look, this one's still on. So and that one over there's on, and that one over there's on. So I've got to flip another breaker. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to put up regular light bulbs, regular sockets, make it nice down here the way it's supposed to be. We're going to cover up all the electrical that's exposed, and see what happens. We know that the electrical has been needed to be done since we moved in here, but it's perfectly functioning all the way around. Everything works. We've never had a problem. There's never been any shorts. We don't ever pop a breaker. So what's up?
Electricity's off in the garage.
That is crazy. That 10 amp breaker. I don't even see how that's possible.
I haven't done anything major since we've been here in the garage.
Yeah, but just think about 10 amps.
That's why I marked it, because
It don't even seem right, but we still have to, I still have to shut these off. We got to find these. That light there, this light here, the light at the end of the stairs. So which one do you think that is? This says same or some basement, number 4. Okay, some basement. I couldn't even read my own writing. So this is, okay, wait a minute. That breaker that I blew or threw was a 20 amp.
I'm going to say there's no way is it?
Yeah. And then this one that I'm getting ready to throw is a 30 amp. This is going to shut off a lot of stuff, I think. Number 4. So these lights should go off. Let's see. Oh, but that one's still on.
Yeah.
So now I got to find that one. And now I'm in the dark. I
Not that much in the dark.
I have a flashlight. I'm in the dark enough that I can't even see anything here. Okay, now maybe that light's connected to something upstairs.
Looks like it goes upstairs.
Well, let's see if all the junctions over there are that we have to fix or work on. Maybe they're already freed up. So let's see, this one. Good. This one. Damn. Okay, so I gotta.
That's a second floor bath.
Oh my word! It goes all the way up to the second floor bath. From this outlet goes to the second floor bathroom.
That's what it says.
That is nuts. This one says bedroom.
Yeah.
This goes to the hallway, and this one goes to the kitchen.
And it's dead.
It is dead. And it's crooked as shoot.
That's not the least of our worries.
Well, it is when I'm trying to put a cover on, because I can't get it in there. All right, well, that's that one. Let's keep on doing here. That one's dead. Let's see if this one's dead. You see how many there are. Here's I screwed up on that one. We needed a double plastic for that one.
Do you want me to go get that?
No.
The handyman.
Well, I mean, we might have other stuff that comes up. And actually, I'll put a cover on that with the power being on. I don't care about that.
Just a cover.
Yeah, yeah, and so this is dead. I'm going to put a bulb here. So okay, maybe I can do all these with what's turned off now. We know this one's off. That don't need a cover. Let's check this one. Uh-oh. Now I gotta figure that one out. So, can you go flip off?
So this is probably live too, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah. Or wonder about what about? Yeah, look at how about this one? No, this one's dead. How about this one back here? Yep, we know the dryer's dead. That's dead. Okay, so I'm gonna need you to flip a breaker here in a second. Once I go and. Yep. It is definitely hot. Okay, that one's all right. And the dryer's got to be dead because the light's not on or anything, right? Yeah.
The washer.
Yeah, the washer. Okay, so, wait, I need to check this one, and then that one.
One more to shut off, maybe.
So. Find one that looks or is marked or something that says anything about, I don't even know where this goes to. Okay, so a familiar place. We're out in the garage, and what I need to do is I need to do all this wiring, but right now I need to make this turn into something that we can utilize as an outlet. So we have obviously a couple wires there. We got this thing here. And we got this thing here. And I believe that will work. Let's see here. Oh yeah. How delightful. Now the problem is I don't know if we have any screws to hold. Yeah, they're missing some screws. I'll have to steal them from somewhere else. Like over here. How about that? That one's broke though. Well, anyways, that's what I've been dealing with. The whole basement is pretty much straightened out. So I've got to put an outlet here. And I got a couple covers. I don't remember why, because I think, oh, I was going to cover this, which I don't need to. I guess it's just open. And then I'm going to replace this outlet back here, because you can see there's nothing in there. There's no way to put a bulb in there. So we'll replace that with one of these, and the other thing, and then we can turn on all our power and see how much our groceries have thawed out and our frozen goods and all that stuff. Yeah, so outlet up here. This was all broke, I forgot. And of course we have an outlet here. The garage door's plugged in now. La la la. Hopefully it's the right thing. And then we replace this one, which was also broken, so we can put a bulb in there. Again, the fact that we're moving, all these LEDs are coming out of here. And obviously the garage door opener stays, but this goes to our next place. So we're good here. Let's go inside and see what Heidi's got going on. Okay, here we are back downstairs. This is where all the sparks, where it all works. Did I say sparks fly? Okay, just start flipping them. What the hell? Oh, we got to do Bud's room. We have to put a new light on there. Shoot. All right,
sleeping.
Postpone. Oh, he is?
He hasn't responded yet.
Screw it, we'll do it another day. I don't care. That light's only been in the hallway for 1922.
I don't know about that.
11 years before the house was built. So just flip them all. Microwave, freezers, refrigerators, everything. Well, the good news is...
Oh, that's awful light.
And we got to wait till all of our internet starts kicking back up. The washer and dryer. You did flip all of them. Oh, yep. The dryer light's on. The washer light's on. So that's good. Good. Yes, absolutely. You have to set it to what you want. Time, dry, whatever.
This is alright.
Oh, we need to try our new... Is this the bulb you think's broken?
Yeah. Pretty sure it's broken.
Okay, well, I don't know. It may be okay. Never know. Let's see here. Oh, I love when there's a string involved.
Here.
I can't do it with one hand.
Hold the string, hold the string.
How many people does it take to change a light bulb? Okay. Oh, look at that.
Jesus, that's bright.
We got a light over here. First time ever.
Oh, but of course,
Oh my God. All right, well, end that story. Okay, we need to put one of the light bulbs over here for this here. We need to find our regular light bulbs. Did you check those boxes over there? Is there regular light bulbs in any of those?
No.
Okay.
I don't think.
All right, let me put this down and work this stuff out. All right, so everybody cover your ears because I'm going to say the A word. Turn on garage light. It works. That's good. That means all this work. Everything's, I can see lights here. I see for the garage door. Let me go ahead and do the garage door real quick. So close garage door.
I'm having trouble hearing. Can you say that again?
Close garage door.
Closing. Hang on.
Hopefully it's all still connected okay. Should beep. Hopefully. Man, I can't believe we got away with that one. Okay, now this here. I need to make sure this has never worked since the day we moved in, and check that out. Boom, not only that, but I have an extra outlet now right there. That's cool, huh? Okay, I'm going to push the button back here because I don't want to say the word again. I have to wire in the front switch, and I got to redo some stuff too, but man, this is good. All right, that's it for now. Heidi's off tomorrow too. I can't believe it. Afternoon, YouTube. Got a late start going on today. Had some stuff going on. I'm going to miss some stuff when we move out of this house. I always like this window. We bought this at a secondhand store, like a warehouse store. I don't know what to describe it, but yeah, it's just it's the nicest door. I don't know. Like I said, we're moving into a decent place. It's just, some of the stuff we did for ourselves. Like this whole room, these windows. We were looking forward to doing a lot with this room. Sealing off the floor and making it more stable other than just porch boards. Maybe potentially going ahead and finishing out this duct work. Right now I have a duct that's upside down that's sitting on top of the hole because underneath is just dirt and junk. But there is a place where a vent used to come in and tie to this area. And I was hoping to get back into that again, and then repaint this and actually have it, as a kind of a 3-season room, I guess. Although I think it's insulated enough. We might have been able to deal with it on some level in the winter. Also, we were going to put the freezer out here, that little freezer that's in the dining area. Again, all things that were going to happen, but not happening. So what I'm doing right now is I've got to look to see what's in the garage, shed. And I've got to kind of get an idea of what it looks like in here, because eventually, not this week, maybe even not this month, but eventually, everything in the shed's going to have to come back into this garage so we can get rid of the shed, or everything from the shed will be moved out of there. And before we leave, I'm sure it's going to have to be in the garage here for a short time. It's I hate whenever we're kind of uncertain about time, timing and time frame of this stuff happening. But if I knew for a fact that we were going to be out of this house by November, let's say November 10th, then I would go ahead and make arrangements with the rental company and tell them, hey, we only have, we're only going to be a couple more months, and then you can come get this thing. And I can judge all that. But the fact that we've got approval for a house, but it's under conditions, and then those conditions, they're a little tricky. For example, the VA is pretty demanding on stuff like this. Paint flaking, bare wood. Well, on our other house, on a couple of the window frames, they want to see that stuff painted, even though we're going to replace all of it. It's just the way they do things. Here's the problem with that. The guy that we're buying from, he's done doing stuff with this house. I don't blame him at all. You know why? When we sold our house in Beloit, same thing. But you guys remember, they've watched us for a while. When we were selling our house in Beloit, there was a lot of things that we needed to do to the house for it to sell. Well, we didn't want to do all those things. We got to the point where we were like, hey, this is the way the house has been for 20 years, and then some. I don't see why we need to do that. And one of the things was the shed. Out of all things, we're in a shed. But the shed that we had at the house, they were concerned that the sheeting, which is just an OSB, it's just a pressed board of some kind. It's not, all the sheds are that way. That's what this is too. But it hadn't been painted in a long time. We didn't really take care of it. We planned on redoing it at some point. But the roof, we did have a good roof on it. We had shingles put on it when we had our house, the shingles done on our home. So it didn't leak, but there was places that, like there was a hole in the back near the ground where in the winter, like a rabbit used to live in there, and I don't know what was going on, but it was just a shed where we kept all of our lawn and garden equipment. There was nothing real important out there. As far as, if a mouse was in the area, I always checked the engines of the stuff that we had, and that was never an issue. But the realtor and the company's like, oh, you need to take care of that shed, and you need to fix it. And we're like, well, no. If you have a problem with the shed and it needs to be removed, we'll just burn it to the ground right where it stands, because we're not doing anything to it. And the reason we could do that is because the shed was not part of the home appraisal. It was just there. It had no bearing on what we were dealing with in the contract. And even the stuff that was going on in the home, they were getting kind of nitpicky on stupid stuff. Your front steps, you need to do some modification there. Okay, we'll do that. We went ahead and we paid a guy to come in and redo the deck, the whole deck, on the front. And it's just a small porch, basically. And then they said, well, the concrete is crumbling near the steps. It's been crumbling near the steps in the back where we had a walk to access to our basement. It had been crumbling since, for 20 years plus. It was like that before we even moved in. So again, we're like, all right, we'll go ahead and pay somebody. They'll go ahead and redo the concrete steps. The Then Heidi, because I hurt my back, she painted the whole basement, which wasn't required, but we decided to do it because it was always something we wanted to do. And now that all our stuff was out of there, and I was laid up in the RV at that time with my back being messed up, it was probably a good idea, I suppose. But you can get an idea. They found like a GFI that needed to be put in the garage. We never had a GFI out there. There was a couple of other switches in the kitchen that needed GFIs. Again, we went ahead and did that. We paid somebody to do that. And then they started on our water system, and all of that was a nightmare. We hadn't been in the house. The house had sat empty for a while. For whatever reason, the water softener didn't get cycled the right way. So they tested the water, and the water came up that it needed shocked. The well needed shocked. And so we paid a guy to come out. He was too old. He couldn't lift the lid of the well. So we had to pay another guy to go out, and he did it. And then when the guy came in, another guy that we had some work done on the house using to do some plumbing work, at that point in time, we told him, hey, can you put softener salt in and cycle the softener manually to make sure everything's okay? Well, he didn't do it right. So he then said, well, wait a minute. When they shocked the well and they ran it, the water pressure seemed a little low, and we're like, all right, screw it. Even though the pump's only 3 years old, put a new pump on there. Let's just get it over with. Put a new pump on it. So he put a new pump on it. Well, of course, that turned into the pressure tank was some sort of an issue. So he went ahead and put a new pressure tank in there, even though the pressure tank was only 5 years old. There wasn't any issues with it all the time we were there, but we were using it on a regular basis. So then, at that point, when he made all those modifications to the well and the tank, he neglected to bypass, whatever, the whole house filter. So then the whole house filter had been turned, swapped, whatever. It got clogged. It was almost clogged up entirely. So at that point, when the guy came in to do the test, the actual county test, he's like, hey, your water pressure is still horrible, but your quality's good, but your water pressure is horrible. And we're like, what in the world's going on now? Well, we thought for ourselves, we're like, okay, you know what? This thing probably needs a new water softener. The water softener was from the early 70s. It worked for us, but it was a salt hog. I thought, you know what? Let's just get something cheap from Home Depot or Walmart, Lowe's, whatever, and have him install it and put it in. So he did. This guy that we were paying. And all the time this is going on, we were on the road. So this guy went in and he put in a new softener, and the softener held the salt. Let's just say that. Instead of the salt being a separate brine tank, a separate tank, it was all in one. It was an all-in-one softener. Well, he took all the salt out of the old brine tank and he dumped it in the new one. Well, when he did it, it would have been fine if he only went down so far, but he actually literally turned it upside down and dumped it in. Well, in that case, all the debris that was in the bottom of the brine tank, that the water was divided up. There's a separator for that. That debris got dumped in the brand new softener. So at that point in time, that's when Heidi flew back from Orlando. We were over in Thousand Trails, Orlando. I remember driving her over to the airport. She flew back. A couple of our viewers picked her up at the airport. Gail and Chris that live over in Akron. Hey guys, if you're watching. And she then didn't bring any clothes or anything. She borrowed clothes from her mom. And she basically jumped everybody's butt about what was going on. She jumped the guy's butt about, hey, what are you, an idiot? You took the old salt and dumped it in here. Now it's a problem. And what are you, an idiot? When you replaced the pump, you didn't bypass the whole house filter. So Heidi had put a new whole house filter in. She took out all that salt. She rinsed it out real good, and she put in new salt. and then ran it through cycles, and lo and behold, guess what happened? Everything passed with flying colors so these people could move in. All right. At some point, there was something else mentioned. I don't remember what it was. And I said, you've got to be kidding me. We are not doing that. We're done. We're done with that house. All right. What's that mean for us? Well, the guy that's selling the house to us that has already made concessions for us, we worked it out in a deal. And in return, we gave him something that was going to make it easy for him to move. The whole idea is that he's like, forget this. I'm not having my house, I'm not repainting those things on the house. I'm done with that. And I don't blame him because I know where he's coming from. So yeah, we've got some weird stuff going on there. And the thing is it's weird to us, but our realtor saying, this is pretty normal. And even the loan broker, he's like, yeah, this is pretty normal. This stuff happens. So we're kind of fighting with all that. And it's a weird thing because right now as it stands, we can't wrap our head around this. The realtor, our realtor, and the selling realtor are planning on going out to that home and making the repairs that are needed. Because, of course, they're so far into this now that they want the commissions. And that is perfectly understandable. I get it. The thing is I feel bad about that happening. I feel weird about it. I feel weird that the realtor's got to do something that the seller doesn't want to do so the house sale can go through. Well, he knows we want this home. Just as much as he wants the sale to go through, we want it to go through. So now I'm kind of like, okay, should I be going out there doing work also on a home that we haven't even signed a contract with that says, okay, all your conditions are met. You get the home as soon as you sign your name here and it goes through processing. And whose insurance is going to cover us if we get, hurt or something. It seems weird. It just seems weird. But yeah, the reason I'm out here in the garage today, I got to get some light in here. And it's a weird one. I got to figure out what we've got back here underneath the cover and get some sort of inventory. I have no idea. I don't know what's here. I don't know how much we've got back here, but yeah, so I'm going to do that. I just wanted to touch base with you guys and tell you what we're doing and what's happening. I got you up in the rafters. I don't have any way to, it's my phone. I was last minute. I'm like, you know what? I may want to touch base on this while it's fresh in my head. So I threw the phone up there, but yeah, if you guys have any suggestions or if you've dealt with this before, let me know. Tell me what you guys experienced in this same arena. But yeah, let me dig through all this, figure out what's back there, and see if that's something we can deal with. But I just want to get the process started. It's, the thing is we've got to do what we can to get in the home so we can start living in the home and emptying this home so we can start working on whatever it is in this home we need to get it sold. And the housing market, the prices are coming down. So there's a chance that our home's not going to bring in the kind of money we originally thought. We don't know. We've got to get it listed though. So I think this is a steal for anybody. I mean, when we were looking for homes, the homes that we were seeing that were in the dollar range in which we were trying to buy this home, and not only that, but the homes that we are currently looking at, or we did look at to find the house that we're at now, man, there's some real clunkers out there. And this isn't a clunker. This is going to be perfect for somebody. Good morning, YouTube. Actually, I think we're afternoon. Boy, it's getting a lot chillier. We're only in the highs of, the 70s now, and until the sun's up, it's nippy. The other thing is the ground doesn't like to stay very dry, which, man, with that rain that we had, we are experiencing pretty decent sunshine. The grass is really starting to grow, isn't it? That's something I might have to address. Seems like I'm doing that a lot. So, Heidi's at work, and I'm going to say the same thing I always do. Big surprise. And I need to get work done on this house. I think it might be warm enough and dry enough the next few days. I'm actually considering looking at the paint situation here. I'm not 100% sold on it. The other thing I was considering, well, let me ask you guys this. Do you do this? So what I do is, unfortunately, get all the stuff that needs done in my head and get overwhelmed by it. Instead of just picking a task, blocking out the rest, and just starting on that task to get it completed and then move on to the next one, I constantly think of all of them at the same time. Now, the good news with that, having that type of a character flaw, or that deficiency in thinking, is that it makes you usually a better multitasker, or at least more attention to detail, as I'm thinking of a bunch of different reasons why I need to potentially be thinking about those other things at the same time. For example, we have furniture in our front storage area in the basement, and we need to move that furniture out so that we can finish painting that front storage area. We did a video on that in the past. You guys remember we was in there spraying everything white. Well, we didn't want to do that front wall until we made a couple of small cosmetic repairs to the concrete. There's some mortar missing in a couple spots, and we didn't know what we were actually going to do up front there, so we just laid off of it. Well, now it's time for us to go ahead and get that corrected. Here's the thing. Because I'm thinking of a bunch of different stuff at the same time, I also know that the rest of the basement, you guys remember I did that video where we pressure washed the entire basement, everything. Well, the floor on the basement, we also did that. We cleaned it really well. There's a problem with that now, though, and that was we had the storm drain back up in the neighborhood to where a bunch of our homes all got water in it. So whenever the water receded, there was an area of silt that settled underneath where all the electric bikes used to be parked in the basement. And that silt now needs to be like mopped up or something. Well, that's the area in which I wanted to move the furniture. So you could see how your brain kind of works in a bunch of different ways. I'm like, okay, I need to move this furniture and paint the wall. Well, wait a minute. I don't want to move the furniture and cover up an area that I then have to move the furniture again and mop up the floor and then put the furniture back. I mean, handling stuff 2-3 times is not the right way to doing things. So that's the good part about it. But nonetheless, lots of stuff that I've got to consider, and I want to make sure that I don't do extra work. And like I had just mentioned, there's a consideration that we will be turning the shed back into the rental company. I gave them a call. They gave me the details and said, hey, no big deal. Just let us know. We talked about relocating the shed to the new location, which it'd be about $300. I don't really think we need to. I mean, we have a lot of stuff going on out there. We went and looked at the house again 2 days ago. Again, you guys haven't seen it yet, which is exciting. You'll get to see it. I'm going to downplay it like I do pretty much everything and undersell it. But there is something to be said about something that is just functional, something that is just perfectly functional. We were looking at houses that were just incredible. Just some of them were really just over the top, in-ground pools, 3 stories, second story balconies, walkout basements, that had the basement was all finished and had a bar and a pool area and a theater room. And I mean, we looked at a lot of stuff that was like fancy. And the problem is the houses, although they were fancy, we didn't see a lot of substance there to where it was necessarily going to become something in the future that we would like. And, that fanciness becomes dated, to tell you the truth. And, we just figured that we wanted something just structurally really sound, bulletproof, future-proofed, and something we could be proud of, but something that wasn't flashy. We'll add touches as we feel fit, but there's a lot of good function to the home. So yeah, excited to show you that. But let me try to figure this out in my head what I want to do. I think I'm going to go out and move concrete block though. So what could I possibly be talking about moving concrete block? Well, it's exactly what I said. There's some blocks that I need to move there. And God, the ground is really wet though. I mean, I shouldn't say wet, it's just the grass is wet. And then there's all this block here. So what I'm planning on doing is moving this block to look a little neater. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's okay here. I don't want to I hate whenever stuff is stacked up against the building. It just promotes, a lot of bad stuff. For example, it'll promote rodents to have homes. It'll promote moisture to be retained. I mean, it could be that it's not too much of an issue if I drew it out or if I drug it out enough. So then but I wanted it out of sight, and that's kind of what made me think about this side over here. Now this side is pretty damp for the most part, but it does have an eave, and I think it might be something that I might consider. I just can't picture this block, what it would look like there. I'm telling you, it's amazing what losing a few pounds will do to your body. That's for sure. Yeah, I still don't know what to do about all this stuff, so the next owner is going to have to deal with it. If I cared a little bit more, what I would do, if I really cared, I'd dig all this out and just fill it with topsoil. But just to get by, what I would do is get some landscape fabric, roll a couple of passes, and then fill it with topsoil, or put topsoil on top of it and level it all out. Now that way, if this is helping with drainage somehow, which I guess it could be, it would continue to do so. It would just have to filter through topsoil before it did so. But yeah, and then going over to this part over here, same thing. The next person's going to have to deal with it. I keep on telling Heidi, and she says she don't want anything to do with it, no part of it. Man, I'd really like to take these, I guess they're flagstone, barnstone, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I guess flagstone. Some of it looks like it could just be stone, but there's some really nice pieces in here, and this stuff's expensive. It goes all the way around. I mean, there's a piece over there, there's this big piece here. It just keeps on going around. I haven't cleaned it off. And so a couple big pieces here like that there. I mean, these are nice pieces. This is something that, maybe people don't appreciate, but I do. I think it would look really nice. So there's something to be said about, learning a lesson and waste not kind of thing. And I keep on thinking about that every time I see those rocks. It's like, man, we're moving to this new place. I know there's some places that could use some good landscaping, updates, and it'd sure be nice to have all these rocks. And on the other hand, I'm thinking, who in the world's going to load up all these rocks? But getting back to what I was doing, I moved all that concrete out of the way. I did go ahead and take that pole out of the ground and put a brick here, and then took all those bricks out of the way and just put a stone there. I could just cover that up because it's just water shutoff or something, and they had a burn pit over top of that. This here was an old clothesline, and unfortunately that pole sticks up just enough that my mower deck, not mower blades, but the mower deck will catch it if I don't pay attention. So all those bricks our son stacked up over here when we first moved in the joint, I went ahead and moved them over here. I don't know, maybe somebody will get some use out of these, and they look tasteful enough. I guess, you know, if somebody comes looking at the house, they're not gonna go, oh, what's all this crap. They still might, but again, I had intentions of maybe if we build a deck, a gazebo, if we got a shed that we were going to keep, I was going to put them up on blocks so that, you know, it stays up off the ground. But again, I knew we weren't going to keep this shed for any period of time here, so that's why they didn't get these blocks. Now the good news is, other than this power cord that's, you know, routed down through here, I can mow all this more easily. And even over here, believe it or not, I never could really, I mean, I could push mow, and I can still push mow here, but I could actually push mow between here too. I wanted to make sure I left enough space for a push mower. Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to RV Daydream, and it has been a daydream. I wanted to talk about stuff that drives me crazy. You guys love this. It's not a rant, though. We've done this a few times, and Heidi hates it. So do I. I do. But I finally got to the point where I could actually, it's isn't organized or nothing, but I did get rid of a box lid that's been sitting there since pretty much the day we moved in. Now, there used to be a table that was real low down here, and then I got these work tables. Oh, I better unplug this. But I got these work tables. Boy, come on. There we go. And the work tables took place of the table that was kind of low. But still, that lid has been on this side of the garage since we pretty much moved in. And what that lid was for was the garage door opener. Well, I finally fixed the garage door opener to where I could install the cover back on there. All the wiring is done correctly. And since we moved in, the only thing that has worked is the remote controls, you know, the two key fobs. That button that's been on the back wall, or it's on the back wall from the original garage door opener. And, of course, the garage door opener has a smart system built into it that you can open and close the garage door using your voice, using the A app or the A thing. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say it. But anyways, the thing was I had a real hard time connecting it to our internet. I don't know if the signal just wasn't strong enough or what, but I had a hard time connecting to it. So what I ended up doing was getting this system, which will make any garage door opener become a automatic garage door opener using the A system or a phone app. Between the two, they work fine, because all of a sudden this one decided, hey, I want to start communicating the way I should. Since we've moved in, you've always had to close it by using your voice or one of the key fobs inside. Well, I finally went ahead and did what I was supposed to and run a new wire to this button, you know, put in the button that goes with the system, because it wasn't that way. So now when I leave the garage, I can hit the button. So here's what drives me crazy. Well, let me say another thing. Let me do the other thing. We also the other day put in all the new, like I put an outlet in here so we could plug the garage door in, because this was just wires. So I put that outlet in. This one's bare. There's nothing in here, just to let you know. It was for future use or something. I don't know what they were planning on doing. I had to put a new cover on this and a new outlet because they didn't want to stick. They didn't want to work. I don't know how to describe that, but they just didn't want to work. And I had intentions of doing a lot of stuff, and unfortunately, I didn't do any of the things that I wanted to do right away. And That's what drives Heidi crazy, and me, is that, you know, we don't get to enjoy the fruits of our labor. Let's just say that. I mean, even though this wasn't our forever home, and we talked about it numerous times, you guys know that, you know, we want, I mean, come on, we got a new metal roof on the house that helped with the heating. We were looking forward, that helped with the cooling. We were looking forward to what winter was going to be like in there. You know, we have all new central air, which worked out great this summer. We have all new E-rated, energy-rated windows. We have all new doors, you know, all these locks, all these home amenities that, you know, new countertop, new stove top, new oven, new refrigerator, new garbage disposal, new dishwasher. All this stuff was something that we were hoping that at one point in time we could just take a breath and enjoy. Just kick back and enjoy. And unfortunately, like everything else that we've done in the past, we do all these repairs near the end, and then we don't get to enjoy it. We're moving on. I'm kind of caught today in a weird situation. I have something being delivered by FedEx, and it's a 23-pound package. I have no clue what it is. It is being sent to RVDaydream, so it's something for review. But I want to dismantle my little review station area here, and I want to organize the garage and stage it for all the components and all the stuff that is currently in the shed. Because once all that stuff's out of the shed, I can call them to have them come and get it. We're kind of stuck in a weird way also. And that thing that has kind of got me stuck is that I don't have a truck. I literally have nothing to pull our trailer with. So I have to borrow my son-in-law's, his Explorer. He just had a bunch of work done to it at the Ford garage. They did his timing chain on the unit. It's a 3.5 twin turbo EcoBoost or whatever, and they also replaced the water pump. So he got a bunch of work done on it, so it's in good shape. And I need to, unfortunately, borrow it to be pulling my trailer around. And there's going to be a fine balance of, well, how do I do this? Because every time I need it, I'm going to have to borrow it to run the zero turn between properties. Because I have to mow the property that we're moving into, and I have to mow the property here. So the zero turn will go on the trailer just fine. It's just, again, we need something to hook up to it. Now, there's some thought, not a lot of it, but there's some thought that I put a hitch on the station wagon. The thing is if I put the hitch on the station wagon, I have to put a couple of airbags in the springs in the back. Now, the airbag system on that vehicle is only about $130, I think, for the airbags. And they're very easy to install, very quick and easy to install, not a drawn out process at all. They just go in the springs and they inflate inside the springs to hold pressure. But then putting the hitch on the back, I think that's like $260 for the hitch. And that car was not meant, that's not what that car was meant to do. I mean, it can do it. If I pulled the zero turn on the trailer, that would be the maximum load that car could pull. It's not like you could pull anything unbelievable, but you can still pull just over 1,000 pounds with it. Still, that's not what it was meant to do. I don't know how else to get around it or say it, but man, I need a truck. And I told Heidi, I said, if I'd known all this was going to transpire the way that it did, we would have already bought another truck. The thing is the truck that I had, although I liked it, it needed, I can't drive it without air conditioning. Especially when, a truck, you're usually working. You're working in the yard, you're you're taking a load somewhere, you're picking up lumber at the store, whatever. Again, you're exerting yourself, and to climb into a truck and be all sweaty and hot and not being able to get any relief other than just driving a little faster with the windows down, that kind of sucks. And a lot of us people that are my age or older, I didn't have my Mustang, my first Mustang didn't have air conditioning. My Duster didn't have air conditioning. My Datsun F10 didn't have air conditioning. My Volkswagen Jetta turbo diesel from the 80s is a 2-door automatic. Try to find that car again. That didn't have air conditioning. Our Ford Fairmont didn't have air conditioning. I mean, there was lots of cars that we had that didn't have air conditioning. But Heidi's Tempo, Heidi wasn't that way. Her first car, her Pinto, didn't have air conditioning, but her second car, she had a Ford Tempo, and that had AC, and it was really nice. Getting back to what I was saying is the cars back in the day, such like my Duster, that's a perfect example. I had a 74, I think it was, or 75 Duster. It was the gold Duster, version of it. Edition, I should say. And it was cool. It was nice. But manufacturers back then knew, hey, let's make air conditioning an option. And if they don't, get the air conditioner as an option, still design it so that the car ventilates well. A lot of those cars had little smoker's windows, that you could turn and face out, like my old pickup trucks. You could flip them around and just blast the interior with cold air. Same with that Duster. It used to look like a little vault underneath the dash down, on the up of the kickboard or the side panel in the foot compartment of the driver's side and the passenger side, that you just flip this little lever and you would open the door. And I mean, the breeze that would come through there was just incredible. And it was very nice. And I could live without air conditioning if I had that. Now, here's the problem. All these vehicles now are pretty much designed for use with air conditioner or air conditioning. And they don't have that kind of ventilation. So when you have a car or a truck, in my case, like our F-150 that we had, and it was originally set up for air conditioning and had air conditioning on it, but the air conditioning didn't work, you could roll down the windows and open the back slider window and do all kinds of crazy stuff, and it still was not cool inside. It wasn't a nice feeling at all. So it was hot. I just don't want to deal with that. But now that we're going into winter, I wish we would have kept that truck for this reason specifically, of needing to move things. I'll tell you, people always say it all the time. It's always something, and boy, I'll tell you, that holds true to so much in life. I'll share kind of the view that I have on the porch, because I'm sure we're not going to have very many days that we might be able to sit on the porch and enjoy ourselves, which is exactly what we planned on doing. And it's going to be kind of sad, because I liked what this house offered in a lot of ways. I'll tell you what would have made it a lot different for us, and that was just the probably if it was just out a little ways. Like if this house was where we used to live, in that exact same spot, I don't think we would have ever moved. That I would have felt pretty sad about it. Now, don't get me wrong, we don't like the fact that we got to walk up steps, for a lot of stuff. I don't mind if it's a basement. It's just I don't care for, the next level, that kind of thing, especially as the older we get. But what I wanted to talk about is, I don't know if you can hear it on camera. I'll turn you around real quick to show you. Yeah, those are leaves that are finding their way, unfortunately, on the ground. And this type of weather is kind of what got us really started in RVing in the first place, because it's just the time of year that the busyness of the summer is pretty much over. You know, you try to cram so much in summer when you live in a state that maybe only 3 months you have really good 3 months of being able to perform a lot of, you know, stuff, go to outdoor functions, go on bike rides, whatever. And, you know, coming into fall, it's all that starts to disappear. So you start wanting to grab the last little bit that you can of, oh, I can't, you know, I want to enjoy this. I want to still enjoy this part of things. And unfortunately, you know, it's going to end. So I'm feeling a really, really nostalgic about RVing right now. It's just, this has always been the perfect time. And as far as us full-timing and being on the road full-time, I kind of miss it right now, because this is the kind of weather that you experience in Florida in the winter. And I know I'm going to miss that. I know I'm going to miss it. I missed it last winter, but we were so involved with the house that I really, you know, it keeps you busy. I didn't focus on it like I think I will this year. Now, the good news is the home we're moving into, maybe the same thing will apply again. And I'll feel differently too with the fact that the new house, you know, we get to learn all the tricks that, like we did here, you know, how to warm up the home, how to cool off the home, when you can open the windows and expect the house to be cooled off. You know, those things it's kind of invaluable information that you can only, you know, learn yourself based on what you prefer. But it'll be interesting over the winter just trying to figure it all out. And again, you guys, you'll get to see our home, and we'll talk about that kind of stuff, I'm sure. Morning, YouTube. Listen to all this noise Heidi is generating. Bet the neighbors love it. 9 o'clock in the morning. No, she wanted to get out here and start working on this. Both her and I both have colds, as does our son. So we're kind of dealing with that. So you're going to hear my voice being a little different, as is Heidi's. Maybe. But we got to get work done. You guys remember whenever I had pressure washed this? Did that all come off? Well, Heidi's got music playing, so we're going to have to, you know. Well, a brush can definitely cover that now, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't remember when. I think it's around maybe 6 o'clock this evening. We're going to start getting storms. You think we can? Think we could paint?
I'm painting right now.
Yeah, you think we can though? What will happen?
Well, I could at least put one coat on. But we don't touch it, so nothing's really going to happen to it.
I mean, if it rains on it.
I doubt it's going to rain on it.
Okay.
It should be dry enough by the time it rains.
So I already told everybody that our voices are a little different
Yeah,
because
we feel like poop.
yeah, both of us got some kind of crazy
I probably should have a mask on.
seasonal flu. Heidi and I's both sick. This is our update. I've been in this chair for hours and days. So some other day we'll give you a better update. Morning, YouTube. Not much better for health. So we'll just make this a quick one. You guys will like that probably compared to what I normally do. Totes. Heidi went out and picked up a bunch of these. They were on sale. Because we had a few before. Unfortunately, man, did they kind of screw you because they changed manufacturers, and the new ones don't stack in the lids of the old ones, and we have probably about 7 of the old ones that look just like this, but you can only do what you can do. I haven't been outside for 4 days. This is the first time. You can't really see the door. Heidi and our son painted a lot of this. Of course, I got to do the peak. Heidi said, don't, well, I'm not doing it today, but she says, don't you go up there by yourself. The whole reason she didn't really do it. Yeah, it looks pretty good. They did a good job. I didn't expect them to paint this, tell you the truth. But we just have to do that peak. And they did the entire garage door and the garage frame. So, good for them. The reason I'm coming out here is I want to put the grill away. I don't like that it sits out here with our gates open necessarily. Just because. Plus, we don't want any more wear on that than we have to. So nothing's changed. I said it's going to be a real quick one because I'm still pretty wiped out from this cold. Let me tell you that the season has changed. We are definitely now into the fall. I mean, traditional fall. I think we may have a frost that may happen later this week. I think if I get enough energy together, I'm kind of pointing you in the direction of what I'm going to focus on, I think, today. And that's to take out our window air conditioners. So before the roof, in the middle of the heat of the summer, window air conditioners were definitely needed to make it pretty comfortable. And we could do it with just the giant air conditioner that we have over there. I don't remember how many ton it is. For some reason I want to say 2.5 ton. We could do it with just that, but the problem is we had to like shut off a lot of the vents from the downstairs, and we had to basically freeze out the first floor, even with the vents almost all the way closed, for the second floor to stay cool. So we had to start off early in the day. We had to turn the air on high, or I should say a low temperature, but on its highest cooling setting. So we would set it like on 65, and the house, the first floor, would be at like 65, 66 degrees. The basement was very comfortable, obviously, and then the upstairs would stay bearable. You know, it would stay to where it was like 73, even in the heat of the summer. And that's with the old roof not having vents on the dormers or the peak. The roof vent we had on the peak was just really crappy. So anyways, we got the window air conditioners to relieve that so that this big air conditioner didn't have to run so much. It just cooled basically the bathroom upstairs and a little bit of the bedrooms, and then of course the first floor. Now, with, again, the fact that we're way past the heat of the summer, and with this new roof, I don't even know if we need them, but we'll hang on to them when we move to our new home, just in case. You never know. Might be something that, let's say our new house don't need it at all, even though the air conditioner is, I think the air conditioner is 4 years old. I'm pretty sure it's 4 years old. Maybe it's one of those things that we stick it in the, I don't know, the window of the garage or something if we're working in the garage, or maybe there's a room that has tendency to be more hot than the rest. Just don't know, but we'll hang on to them because they are inverter style. High efficiency, awesome. I'll tell you, they are basically window split air units, and I get why split air units are so good. So I think I might focus on that if I can get enough energy. I'm definitely congested. My voice is hoarse because of all the coughing and what I'm throwing through my vocal cords when I'm coughing. This cold's a pretty good one. It's not the C word. It's definitely not the C word. We ran our test. None of us have it. It's just a cold. It's just a regular cold. Again, we haven't really done anything out here. And I made my last payment, I believe, if everything goes to plan, on the shed. I'm going to go take a peek real quick, make sure everything's, again, I haven't been out for 4 days, so I just want to look at everything real quick. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm going to check out this light that I installed today and see what it looks like back here. Not that light. That light's been here. Yeah, I can already see there's kind of a blast of light here. That is really cool. Sorry about the camera shake. I got you guys on a different setting. Look at that. Holy cow. I guess I just didn't think it was going to make that much difference. That's not even a very big bulb. It definitely lights it up. Of course, there's one on the back of the shed that is one of those little cameras, the Wise cameras. I don't think that it would come on if it detects me. Let me see. The moon's out tonight also. Check that out. All right, let's see if this light comes on. I don't know if it does. It's detected me. It's recording me right now. Hi, you are currently being recorded. But I don't think the light will turn on. I can manually turn it on with the phone, but I'm filming with the phone. But yeah, that light does a pretty darn good job. Wow, I should have replaced that a long time ago. Oh well, maybe the new owners will enjoy it. We should do an intro, like a football intro. Now playing in the #1 position. The cook of the evening. And it's Heidi. I was trying to do like a football intro where they have smoke. So Heidi's been home all day. Woo. She had all day off. And all she did was sit around and do nothing. Can you believe that? All right. You know that's not true. That's why she got paint all over herself. So this has all been painted. She got not very much, but she knocked all that out and she painted all of, well, most of that was painted, but
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah. And then back here, this is painted. Let's take a look. Dun, da, da, da. Check that out. So much better, right? Okay. So the garage is, oh, she painted around the doorway. I forgot about that. And she painted.
Took the paint off the...
Yeah, I know.
Jesus.
Yeah. I bumped the gutter and I thought, or the siding, I thought, I'm going to put some curb cleaner on a rag. And anyways, so she painted these.
We should have did white, but...
No. These access, because they were painted the same color as the garage was.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're just access. They're crawl through space access. And then, of course, we did this one here. I'm going to ask Heidi something that I talked about before. Of course, she painted all this. Let me get your initial knee-jerk response to, should we take up and pick up all those flagstones around that circle and bring them with us?
Well, I don't know.
I think no. We got so much work.
But, nah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure we could use them.
Yeah, I know. And they're nice, and I'm sure they're expensive if we bought them.
But you know what? We already have enough back-breaking stuff to do.
Yeah.
My hip hurts every day.
So, what we did today was we got up early. We waited.
Early, but...
Yeah, we waited. Yeah, not early, really. We waited, and then we drove out to the house to do our final walkthrough. And today, I have no idea when you guys are watching this, but for us, at the time of filming, today is a Thursday, trash day.
Yeah, I know.
And we are going to go to the title agency on Monday and get our keys to our new home. And you guys will get to see it finally. So the ball...
You get to see it before we clutter it up.
The house, well, it's kind of, there's a little bit of clutter in there already, because part of the deal was we told the guy that if he would make concessions on closing cost, which he did, which we got a great deal, even though I think we may have paid more than what the house is worth at this exact time, because the market dropped across the board since the very first day we looked at it. But to look at it in another way, we didn't have to do a bidding war. If we would have had to pay more for it. But the good news is our interest rates dropped. Our interest rate went down 1 full point, almost 1 full point from what it initially was going to be. And it's good. I mean, it's saving us, I don't know, 100 and something a month. So anyways, when we made those concessions with him, we told him part of the condition was, if you allow those concessions and help us on that closing cost, then we're going to help you, and you can leave whatever you want behind. You don't even have to take your trash to the curb. We will take everything that you don't want, just leave it there. Leave it in place. Now, most stipulations are, we want it broom swept. We want the entire joint broom swept. Okay, I cut out something so you guys don't get to see or hear everything. I don't know.
Chipmunks?
Yeah, it could be. So we
because we're over here talking.
yeah, it could be. So we did our final walkthrough. We're excited. We're moving into a home that, if we wanted to, we could leave it exactly the way it is, and we could live in it for the next 10 years without touching a single thing. That's not us. I'm sure we'll do something to make it more us.
So all we have to do for the inside of the house is, well, upstairs anyway, pretty much.
You can't tell them. Can't tell them what it's like or anything.
We're just scrubbing the walls.
Oh yeah, we got to scrub the walls. We can say that.
And we can move in.
Yeah, even though it appears to be extremely clean, we don't know how clean it really is.
I'd like to bring a better smell in. It's not that it's stinky.
It's just somebody else's smell.
Yeah.
It's Heidi wants it to smell like Fabuloso. She loves Mexican restaurants, and all the Mexican restaurants we go to smell like Fabuloso. So we're working on the house here and getting it straightened out, and we're almost ready. So Heidi's cooking pork chops on the grill.
Because we're still on a diet.
We're still on the diet. And how about our diet?
Well, I'm 23 pounds down. I probably already said that before.
I don't think so. And I'm
holding
36 now, something like that. So 36, 37, getting ready to be 37. No, I'm 37, getting ready to be 38. Well, and I got good news on another front that has been really, really...
And my nose is running.
Is tempting. Well, first of all, our colds are starting to go away after 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We've had these coughs for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Our colds are starting to go away. But on another front that I'm dabbling with, and I still have, I say, about another 15 pounds to go. If I lose another 15 pounds, I'm gonna try a drink. I want to try a drink so bad, so bad. And I've been really thinking about it recently because I've started feeling good to the point where I have not taken my GERD pill for at least longer than that. It was before, when we got sick.
Oh.
Before we got sick, I quit taking it.
So about 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, I took it one day. I quit taking that GERD pill. It just dawned on me after I read all the side effects that everything says take it until you don't need it anymore. And I was thinking, you know what? Maybe I don't need it.
Not be able to, like you have to sleep with your thing.
Yeah.
Because you're GERD.
Yeah.
I used to not be able to sleep on my right side. And now that I lost a little bit of weight, I can sleep on my right or my left.
Yeah. Probably because...
I would love to fall asleep on my back, but...
Well, what she's saying, though, is probably she didn't realize is the reason that she can sleep on either side is because I'm not as fat as I was, so I'm not taking up as much bed. So now she can roll over. So it's a pretty nice day. The weather was really cool for a couple days. We have a freeze warning, I think, in effect one day. So we went ahead and disconnected the hoses. It was time anyways. And I have to get the batteries for the electric bikes to where I think what I'll do is the day that there might be a freeze warning, I'll put a little electric heater maybe on low in the shed. One of them on low is going to be so
Well, we need to
minor.
rectify that right now, so,
What?
or as soon as possible.
Oh yeah, so
So Monday and Tuesday you can.
we got to get everything out of the garage, the shed out. And the main thing is just the bikes. All I want to do is get all the bikes out and go put them in the basement at the other place. Once that has happened, all that other crap can go in the garage and we can move it at our leisure because it's easy.
But you're gonna keep that until we maybe mow that one last time.
Oh yeah, mulch up some leaves and stuff. Well, the thing is Heidi hasn't told you yet, but she ordered me a new Ford Raptor. So when the Raptor gets delivered, I can make, I'm kidding.
Ford Raptor.
I'm not getting that. That's ridiculous.
He's crazy.
Why would I do that? I don't need a truck. We don't have an RV, so I got that Corvette instead. But no, I'm kidding. But basically, I can run back and forth with the trailer once I have a vehicle that'll allow me to do so. But that's not the case. I think we're ready to head out of here. That's for sure, aren't we?
Yep.
And we got a story about that. We'll tell you later. Must be somebody getting married over here. Look at all kinds of bells. This stuff has been going off for a while now. It's a lot better than a tornado warning, huh? I will kind of miss not having the church here. It adds class to the neighborhood. Well, I'm going to start off in the office here, which is very, very messy. We got just a lot of stuff going on, and I got some reviews coming in, so if you haven't noticed, there's a big pile of clothes there, and most of them are summer clothes, and it's because it's clothes that I was going to wear, and instead of having them hang in the basement, I brought them up here and laid them out, but now it's messy, except for the light colored pants. There was something else behind that, which we'll talk about later. Just remind me. So the thing is, the quad power router, man, I'm so glad that we got back into this again. This is a very good deal for just even at home for us. Now, I had some other people talk about another third-party seller. Listen, I'm going to tell you that these guys are truly unlimited, unthrottled, priority for the most part. It all depends on tower, congestion. I mean, there's all kinds of things that come into play there. But overall, just a great system. The customer service on these guys is way better than anybody else. It's a month-to-month. I mean, you can stop paying for a few months and then call them up and say, yep, let me start me back up again. And they're not going to say, oh, you owe me. So over the winter, you know, if it gets to where you don't necessarily need it, the thing that I find is, and maybe you'll find it too, is once you're making a monthly payment, it makes it a lot easier just to maintain that monthly payment. So even though you may have bought this, let's just say for camping season, and you're going out, you know, 6 times a year, you know, or a couple times a month, or every weekend, or, you know, the RV park opens up and you have your camper permanently parked there. Of course, that's one thing, but now it gets into winter. Well, I'm going to tell you that if you have your RV set up somewhere and it's plugged in, I would actually want to keep my internet over the winter at the campsite. The reason being is I could take something as simple as one of these little cameras, which you guys have seen those cameras before. I don't know if I have one here that I can show you. Let's go outside and look. This thing just plugs into its own little power supply, and it's on a magnetic base. It's just sitting on that hook, and it's been there pretty much since the day we moved in, actually before we moved in. Anyway, those little cameras can be bought pretty cheap. I think they're $30. And as long as you have an internet connection and you're plugged into something, and again, this is just USB powered, that's it. So yeah, there's a good reason for having that. Down into the depths we go here. This is an area that we have to paint, which I think we're going to use that color that we did on the garage, because that's kind of what it's, look, it's kind of painted that color already. Anyways, down to the depths, like I said. And there's some painting stuff. We have the cardboard fake door up because, again, this is not an insulated room. The only thing that insulates this from the outside is the porch floor, our front porch floor, which is wood. Ooh, it is definitely cooler in here. And the carpet that is sitting on the front porch, the all-purpose carpet, the all-season carpet, whatever you want to call it, that's all that is insulating in here. So the deal is I have to do a little bit of work in here. And all I'm doing is, if you guys are looking for an antique folding, okay, this is kind of cool. Okay, it's not antique because it's plastic. It's definitely old vintage. But this thing, there's still a little bit of a thing to it. You can see there's like a teddy bear here. That probably could be cleaned up a little bit. This definitely could be cleaned up a little bit. We haven't even wiped that off. But what's really cool about this is it's a high chair, but it folds up and it becomes a rolling play chair that's still like a high chair. You see those wheels there? It becomes four wheels. Well, anyways, I'm getting way off topic. If anybody's looking for that, contact Heidi. She's got it. But I wanted to repair some of this concrete. Now, not so much this. Her and I have been talking about this, and we're debating it. We don't know if we want to just paint over this, or if we want to try to fill in what's missing here. I think I'm just painting over it. It just seems like so much involvement for me to do anything else, you know? I think just paint over it. So we need to paint. Obviously, we'll have to mask off the windows. I actually have to scrape the windows from the last time that we painted in here. Look, I don't know if you can tell, but I'll get you close enough. You should. Look at that. That's just paint over spray. So we got to mask that off. We're going to paint this wall, but before we do, there's things look like this here. See how that's just falling out? I want to clean that out. I want to fix that. See, there's some there. This here. This here. This here. You know, all this. I just want to put something in here to make it look correct and help it out. Now, a lot of this cracking is from, you know, the porch shifting to some extent. A lot of that had to do with that brick, right, like the front steps of we're standing right underneath where the front steps are of the house. And those front steps were falling apart and holding moisture and all kinds of stuff. So a lot of that transitioned into here. Now, as far as the wall, you can see this big horizontal crack. The bow or there's hardly any. I mean, this is a fisheye lens, so it's going to screw up your view. But I'm telling you that the wall's very straight. It's much straighter than anything else we had seen when we came to look at this house. So I'm not concerned about that. And whoever's looking at the house, maybe to purchase it, they shouldn't be concerned about it either. But I need to do some fill work, you know, on the cracks, on the big cracks, make it look a little nicer. And then at that point, we're just going to paint it all. But I do have to mask. I got to scrape these windows, clean off the excess paint. I don't think this window is as bad. And then spray paint this side of the basement wall, this part of the wall, probably this part of the wall. I got to move this big concrete tub out of the way. That's going to be a handful. I got to do some sweeping down below. And again, we're just going to paint it all. We're going to paint all this and make it look like this, which looks really good. I mean, it came out really good. Here's my temp sensor in here. This lets me know the temperature that this room experiences versus this one over here. You can see we got a sensor here. And I'm going to tell you that between the two, even though we don't have very much, when I have this door closed, I call it a door. When I have this piece of cardboard over the doorway and pushed up against it, we see 10 degrees difference between temperatures on a regular basis. And in the winter, it's much more. In the cold winter, it's much, much more. But yeah, I think if we could just paint this room and make it look a little brighter, will be very nice. It'll just look a lot nicer in here. Of course, the floor, we could do something with that, but you know what? I don't want it to look like we're hiding anything. And I think being able to see the floor, you know, the way that it currently is. Let me try to fold up some of these lights so we can direct light over that way. I think it just shows more of what the basement's like. This is the worst part of the basement. When we moved in, this was just filled full of stuff. I mean, heaping. And here's the thing, they had already cleared it out with a bunch of stuff. So it's just crazy that, but anyways, this is the worst room in the house. Now, the nice thing is, that drain, that's an outside storm drain, you know, or a drain that goes to the storm drains. So whatever water goes in there, it goes right to the storm drain. Same with this drain that's in here. It goes right to the storm drain. Same with this one right here. That goes right to the storm drain. Now we have another one that's underneath the carpet here that you can't see, obviously, because there's carpet over it. That goes right to the storm drain. As does the shower. That drain, the shower drain, goes right to this drain, which goes to the storm drain. And then we have, of course, the discharge for the washing machine that goes into a hole in the ground, and that goes to the storm drain. So all that goes to the storm drain, and this is the clear out for the septic system here. I always try to flush the toilet when I come down. I put a lot of stuff in the bowl to try to clear it out about 4 days ago. So that's what you're seeing there. If it's green, I think. I don't know the color. I'm colorblind, but I wanted to sanitize and try to clean the bowl up as much as possible in the tank. It's got a nice furnace. Boy, somebody's going to get a really nice house. It really is a very nice home. The hardest part for our move, Heidi and I discussed it over and over and over again, is definitely us moving the washer and the dryer to the new location. Getting it out of this basement will be pretty rough. I don't know if, honestly, if my son and my son-in-law can do it, or if we're going to have to pay somebody, because that is, especially the washer. If you guys don't know, washing machines, I've mentioned this before, they have concrete blocks in them, or they have some sort of a weighted block inside of them that makes them more heavy than they already are from all the stuff that is in there. The other thing I have to do before we paint that room and do that work in the room is I have to scrub and mop out here. Maybe take a hose, and I have to spray all this down and get it to clean the floor. We have to clean the floor. And it's because of this stuff here. You can see. Okay, we got everything scrubbed up here. I just hooked the hot water tank up, or the hose up to the hot water tank, and drained the hot water tank and used that water. So we've got basically the floor clean again. This was the only part that was really, really dirty. The painted part we can actually take just a mop and bucket to. It'll be a lot easier. We could actually take a mop and bucket to this too if we see there's any kind of a leftover film, which I don't really see. The floor is kind of a rust color. I don't know how to describe it, but that's what it was. You can see like squares or grids maybe. I know the lighting's not the best here, but that was from when this had a tile floor. I pulled the boards off that were on the last few rungs of the steps. These boards were part of the original wall that was here. And again, this was all enclosed, and this all had a ceiling at one point. There was a ceiling all throughout this place. Also, again, if you guys, if I've told the story and you heard it, I'm sorry, but starting about right here, you can see there's a mark on the floor. This line right here, it's a different color, and it goes all the way over to that wall. The reason is because there used to be a room. This was a wall that went through the house, and it was all that ceramic tile, or I don't know what they call it, like what's in the shower here. You know, like your school gym, the old school gyms from the, you know, the 50s and the 40s, I'm assuming, even in the 30s. But that tile that's in the shower, like subway tile or whatever, it's real shiny. And anyways, that's what this entire basement was. And there was a room here. They had divided it off. Now, for whatever reason, somebody decided two things. One, let's just knock out that wall, which I could get it. I mean, I could get to where it'd be a pain in the butt walking all the way around the utensils, or the utility, sorry, of the house, you know, with the hot water tank and the chimney and the furnace and all that stuff. It would kind of suck walking all the way around to get to anything that's over there. I understand that. I mean, I get that part. But they also decided to take down the ceiling. Now, I don't know what the ceiling was made out of. Maybe it was all asbestos. I mean, it could have been. And they didn't want that, which makes sense. And I'll see if I can find a little segment of it somewhere here. I wish they would have put up a different ceiling, and that's what we planned on doing. Here, let's go ahead and look in the shower here real quick. See this stuff here? Since there's good lighting here. This is the old roof. This don't look like asbestos. It just looks like some sort of particle board. It looks like something that used to be in your high school or something, you know. But yeah, there was a ceiling in here, and they got rid of it. Now, they had some kind of grand plan that they were going to make this into a third bathroom. Okay, here's the deal. They did. They just did a horrible job of making it look good and fully functioning. There was a door here, I think. I mean, there's a doorway here, and it's an old doorway. I don't know if they ever utilized it or not, but they could have. And you would have walked into the bathroom here, and yeah, you can see there's like a stud here that they had something going on, because there's, you know, nails still sticking out. Of course, your sink, and then a full bathtub. And the bathtub is relatively new. I don't think it's hardly been used. We didn't use it. But they just did a really horrible job. It's just a horrible job of executing. But with the area that they were working with, I think they were onto something. I think that they could have made it pretty decent. The problem would have been then that you would have had to have a wall that carried over to here, I'm assuming, and then over to enclose the bathtub. What I was imagining was there would be a door here that would let you get into the bathroom, and then that door there that would let you get into the bathroom. Either way, if you wanted to go to the shower, then you would walk across, and of course this area would have been protected somehow. I don't know. You know, I don't care at this point. Let somebody else figure it out. We did what we could, and we're finished. We've got other plans for our new place, which honestly, there's not a lot there that we have to do. Again, I don't want to say too much. You guys be disappointed or whatever. I want to undersell it as much as possible because I think it is a very normal, traditional home. Nothing fancy about it whatsoever. You guys are probably going to go, oh yeah, it's a house, because that's what we thought when we went and looked at it. But the more and more we started looking into it, it started making more and more sense. All right, well, we're drying out here, and I'm drying out in the mouth, and you guys are drying out in the ears, or maybe your ears are bleeding. I've talked too much, so. Okay, so down in the basement, I've never seen insulation in the roof of a basement like this, of a basement that's kind of finished. Again, this is dated, but man, it's so nice. It's in such good condition. Everything has been so well taken care of here. There are windows. Yeah, those are going to get unblocked.